So I'm going to start with our opening prayer and then our land acknowledgement. So if you will all join us in a sign of our faith, in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. We come together in hope from different community groups, answering the same call to service, pieces of the same puzzle. We come together in gratitude for the trust placed in us, for the opportunity to serve, pieces of the same puzzle. We come together in respect, aware of our diversity, willing to work for the good, pieces of the same puzzle. We come together in awe of the wonder and beauty of each of God's children, pieces of the same puzzle. We come together in God's name, and as we work together towards the same goal, each piece of the puzzle begins to fit neatly into place, creating a breathtaking picture of love, compassion, courage, and grace.
As we know it today
is rich in the history and modern traditions
of many First Nations in the Métis,
from the lands of the Anishinaabe
to the Attawandaron,
to the Haudenosaunee,
and the Métis.
These lands surrounding the Great Lakes
are steeped in Indigenous history.
As we gather today on these treaty lands,
our Catholic social teachings
call us in solidarity
with our Indigenous brothers and sisters.
So honor and respect the four directions: lands,
waters, plants, animals, and ancestors
that walked before us.
All these wonderful elements of creation exist,
gifted to us by our Creator God. We acknowledge and thank
the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation
for being stewards of this traditional territory.
Thank you, Margaret. So just a couple of housekeeping items before we begin. Tonight's meeting, as always, will be recorded via Teams. And as we mentioned at the last meeting, our microphones are no bueno anymore. We have built-in microphones up top, so everyone is watching. So just raise your hand if you would like to speak. And if we get a few people, I'll just start a speakers list. But just a reminder that the microphones are hot microphones, so it picks up everything. So, just what you want to say before you say it. And yeah, so just a reminder about that. And for anyone that's online, please just keep yourself muted until it is your time to speak. So we'll move right into item 1.2, which is the approval of the agenda. You will have all received a copy of the agenda in your meeting package for tonight. I'm wondering if anybody had any questions or comments, additions, deletions? No? Perfect. So if I could just get someone to move that we approve the agenda. This evening, great. Rick, thank you. Seconded, Brianna, thank you. Do we have any declarations of conflict of interest this evening? Okay, seeing none, perfect. We're moving on to item number 3, which is our presentations for this evening. So I would love to welcome Claudia and Colin, who are here to present on kids feeding kids. So please welcome.
Thank you, Brenda.
You're very welcome.
So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Claudia Bowman. I am one of the special education consultants. And this is Colin Dueda, and he is our social guru. And for those of you who have heard this presentation last year, John, I know this is your favorite presentation, standing, but there's updates.
It's like the Christmas story. Every year I hear it, but I love it.
Okay. So we're back and we're here to bring you the latest and newest with social. And I'm going to let Colin kick it off.
Fantastic.
A good news story.
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks again for having us in today. So today we'll be taking you through some of the evolution of our impact programs at the board, as well as reporting on some pretty fantastic success. So for those of you who haven't heard of us before, we'll take you through a bit of overview of who we are and what it is we do. Margaret, we're going to be moving fast, so watch for the signals. So again, my name is Colin Dueda. I am a local tech entrepreneur, done a bunch of cool stuff in education, most notably the social impact games. Our core ethos is around measuring and inspiring positive social impact. So what does that mean at its core? Well, we issue positive social impact challenges And the participants, our do-gooders, complete those challenges, earn points, climb the leaderboard. So, the value prop that we initially brought here was around kind of 3 impact areas for the institution, for the board. It's a great way to engage the community and measure character growth, as we'll see in just a few different slides. Students get connected to their environment, there's leadership opportunities, and build an impact resume. And it's a great way to engage parents as well. So challenges range from a whole breadth of impact around self-help and mental health and community engagement. And what becomes really cool is this kind of rich evidence proof of the impact that we're having. So the challenges are submitted with photos or video around the social good that the kids are doing to obviously evidence the impact that they have, but more inspire others to do the same. We have evolved our reporting, impact reporting, since the last time we presented. We started with the concept of measuring character development. It's super tough to measure, but our gaming metrics allow us these opportunities to really measure the attributes associated with the challenges. So we've begun to expand that. We introduced new types of challenges and measurement around the UN sustainability goals, which not everybody is familiar with, but is such an important aspect of improving both our culture, our cities, our environment. And we continue to expand that as we learn more around the things that are important to measure at the Catholic School District, including our Ontario Catholic School graduate expectations. And then more recently, we added reporting and data capture around our pillars, our belief pillars here, which is really cool as well. So we continue to evolve our reporting on our impact. And what was really cool that we added most recently was this concept around the impact verifier. So impact verifier students take a look at the challenges and verify that they're authentic. And as they do that, they earn points towards volunteer hours. So to date, we've got almost 1,000 challenges verified, and it is so cool to see these kids engage with the authenticity of the platform, and just a really cool added value prop to the engagement with the students that's been pretty successful to date, that we're continuing to evolve.
All right. So to give you a bit of history on how this all started, when we came out of COVID, we started piloting this in the gifted classes. We thought that the students in particular needed an uplifting and positive experience. We wanted to activate kindness among the students in the class, but also throughout class to class, throughout the school. We wanted the students to be able to connect with their community. They had been isolated in their homes. So how can we get the students out there and connecting with people, with organizations out in the community? And we wanted to track character trait development, as Colin had mentioned, and also look at the Catholic graduate expectations and how we could implement them seamlessly throughout the students' day. So that was kind of our goals to start with. We started, as I said, in the gifted classes. Then we had some of the gifted students as leaders in their schools bring it to the rest of the school. Then I think the third year, I think we did 5 schools the third year, moving to, I think, between 20 and 30 schools last year. And now it's across the entire system this year. So we're really happy about that. And Margaret, you can go to the next one if you don't mind. Thank you. Along the way, I think in the third year, we just happened to organically bump into Victoria from HCCF, Halton Catholic Children's Foundation. If you don't know about Halton Catholic Children's Foundation, their mission is really to help children succeed, children whose family may be in need, children whose families may not have enough food, they may need help with uniforms, anything that a child would need to succeed throughout the day, HCCF would help with. And their vision is really everyone should have an equitable opportunity at school, and a student's success shouldn't be blocked by financial barriers. And, right away, that was in line with some of the challenges that we were doing. So we linked together as a a partnership between all of us and started to look at, okay, how can we grow this program throughout the schools with all of us involved? Go to the next one, thanks. So if you don't know what HCCF does, this gives you a little idea. John, you sit on the committee as well, so feel free to, speak if you choose. But as you can see, the needs of our students at Halton Catholic are increasing every year, which isn't surprising. Families are in need. The green is how much money HCCF has given to families over the course of the last, since 20, I can't read that.
2020.
Thank you. To 2025. The blue indicates how many requests came in for families from principals. And then the orange indicates how many students actually benefited. Sometimes there's siblings within the home. So you can just take a look at how many families this hits. So HCCF we wanted them to become more visible out in the community, out in our schools, to the teachers, to the superintendents, to everyone, just to help them with their mission. All right. So when we looked at what would give us the biggest bang or what would really work, we talked about maybe with the students when they were handing in these challenges, if their work is going to something tangible, it would mean more for them than just being on a leaderboard. So we came up with the idea that the children's challenges would equal meals for students out in our community. We would get corporate sponsorships and also schools providing money. The students would do the do-gooder challenges that Colin was explaining. They would be rewarded with meals for students in the community, and those meals would be given back to Halton Catholic Children Foundation to distribute as they, saw fit. So that's how Kids Feeding Kids started to evolve, and we are in our second round of Kids Feeding Kids. And I just want to give a little bit of a indication of the numbers and some of the challenges and how many people are involved and whatnot on the next slide. So far to date, we've got 55 do-gooder challenges completed. And then even since then, there's been an additional 2,800 since we did the slide. Hundreds of challenges completed with families. So what we're finding, especially this year, is a lot of families are completing the challenges with their children after school, which is great for parent engagement. And so far, we've raised $92,000 for Halton Catholic District School Board students in needs. So last year it was $50,000. So far this year we've got $42,000. We have a month left, so we got time. Everybody, we have time. So that's it seems like it's rolling and it's going well, and people are engaged, and companies are giving and families are giving, which is a great thing for our students. It's going all back to our students.
Just to punctuate that, a call out on our end is it is very likely going to be the most successful impact game we've run. Current leader is NHL Hall of Famer Paul Coffey. He did a youth hockey challenge where the winners got a practice with Paul, and I think we're going to exceed it with this one. And Halton Catholic will be the top earner ever.
All right, I didn't even know that. So, I guess our ask is to support us, to support this fundraiser, to be enthusiastic about it, to lend your support, to encourage people who you see in the community, encourage the schools, and just to get excited about it. And that's all we really wanted, to bring you the good news around it, just to share it. And thank you for your attention. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, we're happy to answer. And that's it.
That's nice. That's wonderful. I have a couple. Is there anyone have any questions for me? Claudia, just reiterate again some of the examples of what these challenges, the do-gooder challenges, might look like.
So one year we started with the theme of mental health. So all the challenges were around mental health. So I'm just going to give you an example.
Yeah.
It's evolved, but it would be, one of the challenge might be, explain your morning routine. And then can you add, research a healthy morning routine. Can you add one thing to your morning routine that would help build up your mental health? Like that would be an example from the mental health. Right. There was an equity and inclusion theme. The can you give
I can jump
examples
in.
of the?
Yeah, too. And we'll iterate on different challenges. So last week we released a suite of anti-bullying challenges in support of initiatives that were going on. Our key one is a daily act of kindness challenge that we have as well. There are donate your used gear to sports organizations. So it really is a full gambit, as well as a bunch of HCCF and food insecurity related hunger. So research what's going on in your board, create a meal with your family, and discuss how food insecurity affects everyone, those kinds of things. So there's quite a wide breadth of challenges.
And are we, so for students who may struggle with the ability to sort of do some of these challenges on their own, do we have a mechanism to assist them to participate?
So glad you asked. So when this memo came out, Brenda, so that you know, and even before it came out, so, the messaging was anyone who has an IEP or had any kind of accommodation or modification in order to access curriculum could have that same modification to hand in any of these challenges. We're so flexible around a student could take a picture, a student could, have someone script their answer, a student could use their eye gaze system to, come up with the answer for the challenge. We're so flexible that way. There's, we want everyone participating in every class. So yeah.
Some of our active classes are elementary. So classes are getting together and teachers are posting on their behalf, but they're having those discussions in class, which is just super cool.
That's what I wondered. Like, there's probably a really great opportunity. We hear a lot here sort of about, buddying up and things like that. So it sounds like it'd be a great opportunity for if there is a student who's struggling a little bit with different needs, maybe a peer can assist them in that challenge, things like that. So that, that's a really organic way to sort of do that also.
Yes.
I love that.
And the students can pick, there's so much variety as to what they want to do or the challenge that they want to, go to, right? So it's not like you have to do the same one every day. There's variety for the students depending on their interest.
Love it. Marianne, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned that you had like students leading the programs. At what age do they start? Is that elementary or?
So we started in the elementary. It was from grades 5 to 8. So we had the students in grades 5 to 8 after they had done a round of the social games, then go out to the rest of the school. We started in junior and intermediate, but now we are in kindergarten to grade 12. Awesome. And we have so much engagement this year from the high schools. We didn't have as much last year. This year we have much more. I'm not sure why, but I'm happy about it.
Yeah.
Too cool to play the social impact games. You know what I mean? It's been really cool to see.
Yeah.
So now you would be including from kindergarten to grade 12, but the leaders would be starting like grade 5. Those kids that were kind of.
Well, now we had the leaders in the beginning to bring out to the schools, but now we don't have the leaders. We don't have the leaders doing it because the entire school is doing it. What we do have, if you want to explain the whole concept of the champions, right? We have the champions.
HCCF has recently got a win, I think, with school-based representatives that help with the cause, with building awareness. So they've been instrumental in kind of bringing awareness to the schools and maybe doing announcements around the family of schools and the leaderboards and trying to excite around doing this impact and earning meals for kids in need. So we've also been fortunate to have some access to the communications team at the board as well, who are kind of emailing out and getting word out on the game as well.
Yeah, go ahead, Grant.
Thank you. Question. So you said the high school kids, can they get the volunteer hours still?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So what we've asked of our school-based champions is if there's a student they trust who's excelling, who's looking for that leadership opportunity, then we're so pleased to invite them to connect with myself, Claudia. We'll do a couple minutes of training and they're off to the races.
Do you have someone in mind?
I do.
Okay.
But also, so
we want them.
Okay, so my second question is, who in the high school, like who facilitates? Like elementary school, it seems to be a little easier, but when you get up to high school, it's like totally different,
Yeah, it's COIC, like who's running?
Yeah, who
who's
runs
the
it, like,
contact?
It's the school champions. So every school
okay.
has a champion, right? That is out, anything to do with HCCF, they're involved. We also had a principal committee group. So a lot of the high school committees, principals sat on the committee. So they were instrumental, and sometimes they assigned someone. It was different in every school. Last year, this year, there's a champion. So.
Okay, thank you.
Good. Any other questions? No, thank you so much. That was excellent. Thank you. And maybe if there's a way to follow up, just to send out any additional information or reminders of how we can support it and get involved.
I think SEAC should have a team next year.
Okay, so that's a great idea.
Or even this year, you could still, there's still time.
Perfect.
Even contact information so we can send like leaders that.
Sure. That's a great idea. Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you again so much, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you. You're welcome to stay, obviously, but so if you go, it's
What's
fine.
on the agenda? Let me just say. If you really want me to stay, I will. But,
No, you go about your evening. You're fine. Thank you so much.
I'm just going home. I just want to put my pajamas on.
Okay, bye. Yeah, guys. Thank you so much. Okay, perfect. So moving on to item number 4, which is the approval of the minutes. So we did have the minutes from our October 27th meeting that would have also been in your meeting package for this evening. So if anyone had a chance to take a look at those, I don't know if anybody had any questions or comments or concerns or anything. Okay, perfect. So if I could just get someone to move to approve the minutes of the October 27th, 2025 SEAC meeting. Tracy, thank you. Moved by Tracy, seconded Brianna. Thank you so much. Great. So moving on to item number 5, which is our business arising from previous meetings, and that would be in your package as well. We don't have anything on our, is there anything on our continuous? I just don't have it here in front of me. That's okay. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay. Okay, fine. Didn't we already send that? We already sent that. Okay, we'll follow up on that. I think that already went. Perfect. Great. Okay, so item number 6 was the Special Education Board Policy Review, and we don't have that going on right now. So
we have one for you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So we have the feedback that we received from the last one.
Sorry, yes.
Did go to board.
Yes.
That was, that escapes me. And we have one on the use of emotional support dogs.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
So
that's my mistake.
Yeah.
Correct.
So that will be part of the December 9th policy meeting.
Right.
But you received all the policies at the beginning of the year with the opportunity to provide feedback, and I know there's some forthcoming. But
perfect. Okay.
So that's that.
You said emotional support. It's actually
sorry.
That's okay. Everyone, sorry. It's that's up my head. It's the service animal.
Service.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
That's what we call it in the policy.
It's okay. And is everybody okay with the process as it's been so far, with the reminder of what's coming out, and then what was it? Sorry.
Student use of service animals in schools.
Where we send them out and then a reminder sent out to solicit feedback. Is that working for everybody? Yeah. Okay. What's the cutoff for this feedback? Did we put that? Cutoff. 30 cutoff now?
For the December 9th?
For the December 9th?
If we get it by the end of this year.
Yeah. Okay. Just in case there was someone who didn't see it or wanted to comment on it. Okay, that'd be perfect. Great. Thank you. Sorry for that. I'll have to make a note here next time of which ones we have exactly.
The next one's not till June after that, so we got time.
Oh, we got lots of time. Okay. But that's also not to say, though, that, we bring ones forward that, Cassandra is very intentional about, that we believe there to be a component that directly impacts the members around this table. But that's not to say that we would discourage you from taking a look at, any of the policies that are there. There might be something that's come up in, one of your organizations that might be reflective. So, don't feel that you can't bring a policy forward for discussion or review if you believe there to be a component of it that we should be taking a look at here at SEAC. Okay. Okay, action and information items. That I don't have any, correct? Until we get to item 9.3. Okay. Board committee updates from SEAC representatives. So an email went out not long ago that was outlining which committees we have representation on, just confirming if you're on a committee, if you're looking to continue on that committee, if there's a committee that you're interested in, that you'd like to be on. I've reiterated this, year over year, and I'm very passionate about ensuring that SEAC is represented on any and every board committee that we can get representation on. And that's been a trend that we've seen grow and continue. And so my hope is that we keep that representation. And so we currently do we have any gaps right now, Cassandra, in SEAC representation on any of the board committees that we are aware of? Are we?
Not that we're aware of. There may be an opportunity for a couple, but those details are forthcoming. So
Great. Okay.
definitely pass that information through you, Madam Chair. Sorry.
Perfect.
Through Madam Keith.
And if there's one that you see, or if there's something you're passionate about, like just send us a note. If you see that, there's the bullying prevention intervention committee, and you're interested in that, there's always ways for us to review who's currently on the committee, and that perhaps that person's been on it because no one else was showing interest. We don't want to lose that spot. So, I encourage you it's a great way to get to know other people. Yes, Brianna.
Thanks, Brenda. When we submit our name,
yes,
do you then submit it on our behalf, and then we'll get communication from that committee?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, correct. And it's a great way to meet other people at the board, other representatives from other committees or people from different departments. It really just is. And people are always extremely interested in hearing the SEAC perspective, the SEAC lens and voice. In absence, Cassandra also does a great job bringing that forward, but it really is a good way to engage with other people. So I do encourage you. Most of the meetings are not a huge time commitment. Yeah, like some of them are, once a quarter or 3 times a year. They're usually held, they are usually held during the day, but there's often a remote opportunity, hybrid chance to participate. Anyways, I don't want to harp on it, but think about it the next time we put out an ask, if there's one that you think that you'd like to participate in. Okay. But we don't have any updates for right now. And again, you'll see ebbs and flows where you'll see some, periods of time during the year where committees are super active. And then there's some where there isn't, like Journeying with Jesus. Obviously around that time it'll be really busy. But there'll be some that you'll sort of see that ebb and flow. Okay, perfect. So item number 9, which is communication to SEAC. We do have the trustee report, and Trustee Powell is online with us this evening. Are you there, Trustee Powell?
Hi, I'm here. Thanks for accommodating me.
Yeah, of course.
Hi, everyone. Okay, so I just have a few points. We had, there was some exciting action happening at the board. Just this last month, we had the election for chair of the board. And we have our chair, Marvin Duarte, has been acclaimed. We also had the election for the vice chair, and that's Janet O'Hearn-Chanada was elected. Janet has not been vice chair, I believe. Well, not in the last 3 years that I've been there. So this will be nice, some new life. We also had a really good presentation from it's called HIAC, but it's Halton Industry Education Council, I believe, or Center. Yep. If you go onto the YouTube to our last board meeting, which was November 18th, you can see the presentation, and HIAC has some really good information on trades and what is going on within the trades and how to get into it, especially for some of our older kids in the secondary school. They've been a really good, I know personally, my sons have benefited from it. So it's a really neat opportunity. They do a lot of things, and they partnered with HCDSB as well. We had a couple policies that passed. One of them I wanted to highlight was, and I'm assuming we can share the report too, because there's some info on here that I think is worth looking at later on. Policy I-33, and that's classroom observations by an external third party. SEAC had been consulted for policy review for this, and there is an updated version now that was passed on the board website. It requires written parent request and formal submission. The point to note was that Like this is if you have an external report or an external assessor, I believe it is, or if you bring in an external report. So you have to, the schools are not obligated to implement or find recommendations from external reports. So it's worth reading through because there are some changes that have come into play. And I don't know, Superintendent Caldera, if you want to speak on that or if you have more to share, either after or right now.
Would you like to speak right now?
I can speak right now.
I know, not to throw you under the bus. Just if you, I can keep going. I'm on a roll, so it's up to you.
No, I was just going to say, yes, you're absolutely right. There has been some streamlining of the, I'm looking at you, but you're over here, you're everywhere. There has been some streamlining of the language, only to be more compliant with the process of getting that information. There's called regulatory colleges and with connecting with other boards, wanted to make sure that we were in alignment. So some of the changes are for everyone's protection and for areas where there's privacy and shared information is treated with the delicacy that is needed. So the policy, everyone had an opportunity to review it, but with the final changes now up and on the website, it would be helpful if you're being asked any questions around that process to review. I don't know if that helps with your.
No, that's good. And I thought that would be good, even for all of us, just to kind of go in and look at the new wording. And I don't think there were tons of changes, but I mean, it just said that you can't refer to other students, obviously, and like there were just like you said, the supervisory requirements have changed, and no recording, I believe it was, that no longer do. Again, for privacy's sake, which is understandable. So thank you for that. Some updates. We also did have a senior staff update on our North Milton. We've got some enrollment pressures, I think, in the future, just with the growth of Milton. So they are going to be doing a boundary review. And for both a few elementaries and our one, actually all of 4 elementaries, sorry. And there will be an advisory school boundary committee if it gets approved in December. So the resolution is going to be brought to our December meeting. But as our chair said about being on committees, if you are in the North Milton area and you are a parent at one of the schools there, you can have an opportunity to be on our advisory committee. So that further information will come out in December. So I'll follow up with that in December on my report. And then we also had the 24-25 audited financial statements the draft version that was submitted for approval. So that carried with 4 of trustees in favor, 2 were opposed, and 2 couldn't vote due to conflict of interest. And I just wanted to bring in the last one that this is there's been a lot of talk too with our Ministry of Education about the student and family support offices that are being created. So come January, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 school boards that are currently under supervision with the ministry. They have to establish this student and family support office. But this hasn't been made the news as much, but all other school boards are expected to submit a report by the end of March, outlining how they would establish an office for September. So just to let you know that's coming. I did attach the memo if we're going to share this. It's something worth looking at because my concern is always with our special needs kiddos and marginalized or racialized children. So I think if we can have a say in this, we really need to. So that's all I got from our last board meeting from the trustee table. So
thank you, Trustee Powell. Does anybody have any questions at all for Trish? Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Trish.
Thanks.
Okay, item number 9.2, which is the superintendent report. Superintendent Jack Caldera.
Yeah, thank you through you, Madam Chair. So I don't know if they'll be showing up on the screen, but as mentioned through Trustee Powell, congratulations to Marvin Dwart and Vice Chair Janet O'Hara-Trinata, both advocates for special education and support of our committee. So we look forward to the partnership for the following year. This year I was able to attend the Our Kids Network Advancing Belonging Through Community Dialogue. This is an organization that involves Halton District, Halton Catholic School Board, and community partners such as ROC, CAS, Halton CAS, and a few others that have escaped me at this point. And the theme was around belonging. They did have community reps speak to their specific trends in the Halton area that speak to the theme of belonging, which I thought was a nice connect to our multi-year strategic plan, which actually has belonging as one of the pillars. So I'm hoping to be able to share. There was a media invitation, so there will likely be an article that comes out around the community coming together and sharing and identifying the needs and some next steps and how to strengthen our partnership. So once that media article is released, I'll be passing it along through our office so that you're aware of that activity and those opportunities. They work with families early years. Like there's so many with Parks and Rec, like there's so many involved partners that come together that want to work with school boards and see what the needs are in our communities and how we can best respond to them. We noticed some trends in early years, but also with regards to mental health. And one of the trends that has kind of surfaced in Halton areas around some of our males who have body dysmorphia, for example. And so how do we support students who maybe are overexercised, not eating enough, that identify as male? Because I think there's been that preconceived notion that that's a gendered problem with females. So there's a lot of takeaways from these meetings, and I'm hoping to include more of their updates as part of our SEAC, because I see a natural connect to the work that we're doing, and they're always curious about how they can support us. So I think maybe in the future, if our schedule even allows, to inviting members from the OKN to come together. So we have representation from curriculum, our early years partners. Research department is also part of the committee, and then I get to sit on it and represent the board when the director is not available or is otherwise engaged. So it's my pleasure to sit on it. I'll speak at the end about some families I'd like to keep in our prayers. I've included some recognition. I included all of December as well because you blink and we're going to be at Christmas break. Our next meeting is December the 15th, which would be the third Sunday of Advent, but wanted to make sure that you had all the other corresponding days. With special highlight, December 3rd is our board recognized day, the International Day of Persons with Disabilities. And I'd also like to plug December 11th, which is our Educational Assistant Appreciation Day, also board recognized. And who doesn't know and love an educational assistant? And so we hope that you'll take the time to acknowledge them in your own special way. We've already spoken about the upcoming policies. Again, I spoke around the name of the policy. So II-52, student use of service animals in schools, and the related procedure is up for review. There are opportunities where other policies do come up, and there's an ask from SEAC if we have any feedback. So those might not already be on this chart. The ones that are on the chart are the ones that our team here is responsible for, reviewing. But there are other cycle reviews for other policies. So stay alert. There may be an email request for some feedback, but these are the ones. The next one, again, is December 9th. So if we can get some feedback by the end of this week, that would be really helpful. And then the last one that we bring forward is June 9th. So I also wanted to share that every year since I've been here, I think it's been 3 years in a row, we had applied for the Removing Barriers application. And that money we've used for a variety of projects, and, in particular our Best Buddies dance. And unfortunately, this year with so many applicants, we did receive the news that we were not a successful applicant. So I think speaking about budget, Trustee Powell alluded to it as well. We're going to have to make some critical decisions around what that gap will result in, but shared the communication. Hopefully the link works. It comes from the Office of Special Education and from the ministry level. And I'm happy to share that on December 5th, our department is going to get an opportunity to do some artificial intelligence professional development training. So the special education student mental health department, our central staff will come together. All school-based staff will get that training as well, but we are a unique group and there are some unique circumstances and considerations that we want to discuss. So I'm very fortunate to be able to lead some of that conversation and be part of our board team that is exploring how AI is being used and how we can make sure that students are at the center of those decisions, and that we're, because it's evolving so fast that we can't get ahead of AI, but certainly making sure we're as informed as possible, knowing the risks and the benefits. As far as monthly communication, parent-teacher interviews, and alternative and IEP reporting, we continue to work with our partners at LearnStyle, and we've come to realize this year is a year of learning, and we are going to have a thorough review of how our release of our IEPs, our alternative education reports, alt reports, and some of the tools, the features of RISE, how that's what went well and what are the areas that we want to improve upon. But I think last year when we were going through that cycle of learning and working together, we have very high expectations in Halton Catholic District School Board, and we thought we would be like smooth sailing. And sometimes you have to go slow to go fast. So we are taking the intentional steps, working with our partners, and thank everyone for their patience around that. I've included the purchase of the month remaining for November and for December, and the contest keeping priced in Christmas is open, and included the link there to please share to anyone that you think would be interested. And now I will go on to great detail, share updates from the rest of the department. So our EA managers update. The EA interviews continue weekly with EA managers and HR recruiters, followed by onboarding initiatives with successful candidates. We continue to experience a successful fill rate of our Smart Find Express system. I'm knocking on wood because September and October we were at 94.8 of 2024, and this year we are at 99% fill rate. So practically perfect. And we know we are approaching cold and flu seasons, but through those active efforts to retain, to recruit and retain, we've seen some really, really positive results. We've also successfully trained 2 new itinerant EAs in the 5-day Safe Management Train the Trainer program, which now brings our training team to 14, which is a huge part of being able to not only recruit, retain, and to make sure that they trained. So, and to the next section, on November 13th, the iCerts for the Blind Low Vision facilitated a professional development session for educators teaching students who are blind or have low vision. This session included a review of technology and the expanded core curriculum, as well as simulation activities. No updates from psychology this month. Our CYCs organized a range of activities and resources for Bullying Awareness Week during the week of November 17th. They supported many initiatives, often in partnership with students and school staff. In preparation for the week, all elementary CYCs completed training in the Second Step Bullying Prevention Unit, and the secondary CYCs received bullying prevention resources through our new social emotional learning program, Everyday Speech. We appreciate the ongoing dedication of our CYCs in helping to prevent and address bullying across our schools. As far as the social work, the entire social work department has trained on understanding eating-related issues, which included information about assessment and supporting students. The first meeting of the Mental Health Advisory Committee was also took place earlier this month, November 5th. First meeting was a chance for members to get reacquainted with each other, get updates from the mental health team, and review the 3-year mental health and addiction strategies, as well as the annual action plan. And the next meeting for the Mental Health Advisory Committee will be on February 25th, 2026. And lastly, there will be an elementary CERT training session for November 25th covering RISE, sensory regulation strategies in an educational setting, SEAC updates, and various information items pertaining to certs, school certs and SEPs. A grade 4 gifted testing for proctoring info sessions were held for certs on November 4th and 6th. Whereas alternative reporting booster sessions for certs were also held in November 5th and 6th. And new CERT training sessions were held on November 4th and 20th. Topics included CATIA, training administration, SLP and BA services, transition plans, the EA allocation process, and IPRC meetings. Our life skills CULC was held on November 13th with topics including internal and external co-op rubrics, review of the OLS, co-op forms, post-secondary pathway transitions, and collaborative topics included functional literacy resources and the role of the life skills set for info gathering. Gifted sets participated in a CLC on Wednesday, November 19th. Some topics included important RISE updates, parent consultation process, the gifted information night, reviewed resources available on the special education OLS gifted folder, and also allowed for collaboration among sets. Thrive and transformations, held midterm intakes for both the Thrive and transformation programs this month. We have accepted 3 new students into Thrive, bringing that class to full capacity. Their start date is November 24th, today. And for transformations, we have accepted 2 students at the Corpus Christi location, bringing enrollment there to 8 students, 1 student at the BR location, bringing that site to 7 students, and all students began today. Essential skill sets participated in a CLC on Monday, November 10th. And the topics discussed there were high impact instructional math practices, literacy resources, and how AI can be used to support individual and whole group, secondary and post-secondary pathway options, and mental health resources. And a CLC was also held on November 12th for structured teaching sets and community living sets. Topics included in-school co-op options that can be run alongside the Pathways itinerant team, and reviewed the co-op checklist that can be used to support school writing, review of the ABA Hub and Tier 1 supports available to sets. Also reviewed infographics, PowerPoints, and visual resources. Sets collaborated on different in-school co-op opportunities such as coffee cart, popcorn, smelly pencil sales, as well as opportunities for STC classes and CLC class to connect virtually and potential field trips. And that concludes the updates for November. Please have lower expectations for December.
We've only got half the month there.
So we really front loaded November. Keep you.
But are you guys doing anything else?
No.
Is there any questions at all on the superintendent report? Yeah, Brianna.
You mentioned about the social work part, training on eating related issues. Do you know if that was meant to address kind of overeating, undereating, or was it more related to sensory issues with the kids?
So I believe it's the first one, but I do like the idea of the second one. Oh. So I think there has been some conversation around what, like with that information, what can we do next? And I do think that that is a great suggestion. So it was through the social work department. So I'll connect with the senior manager, and because now we have a partnership with the nurse that helps to deliver that program. And you have planted a seed. I will continue to follow up on that.
It's a great question. Other questions? So I had one, but I think you kind of answered it, but I was going to ask about so there's no Best Buddy holiday party this year?
So we have shifted the last couple of years to the spring. We are really, with the monies that we have used in the past, we really reimagined what that could look like. So stay tuned for updates. But I'll be honest, the funding announcement came quite late, like just recently. So not to say that the money was spent, but.
And what is that amount? Like, what would that cost to run that holiday party roughly?
So we received $35,000 from that Removing Barriers grant. We don't use all of it for that, but transportation for track and field, cross country, the DHH picnics, like anything that we were we're using transportation plus the actual event. And then in the past, I think, I don't know if Riona can fill.
I have some of.
Oh, and Andrea Jones. Sorry, I'm putting you on the spot.
No, that's okay. Because I know that I know that Andrea's been really involved with that in the past.
It's somewhere between, I don't have it all in front of me. It's somewhere, I think, between, about $15,000, I think, is what we've kind of spent before. I do believe that transportation's been the largest part of that. And as Cassandra has shared, like stay tuned, like where, we've still pursued kind of opportunities that we may be able to continue with. But I think being respectful of the direction around the budget, those kinds of things. So we've been doing some behind the scenes work, like around whether or not there's individual school things or whether or not there is a site that we can still bring people together. We don't know. But I do think that that's what's the important thing is to know that it may look different based on what we're directed to do and manage. But the stay tuned, I think, is the important piece to hear from.
And thanks, Andrea. And do the schools also contribute to that amount as well?
So we've always asked for a student fee, like a field trip fee, where they can. So that's never excluded any participation, but we have asked for that. So where possible, we do gather some funds for that, but it's pretty nominal. And then we also have staff come. So we have all the bus butters come, we have all the staff come, and there's no fee, obviously, for staff.
So you need to find a school that has lots of SGF funds that they, I don't know high schools I can think of that might not know what to do with them.
And we've been really fortunate. We've had donations from the Rotary Club and some of our local partners have donated. So it's not that it's not going to happen. And, when we think about equity of access, like I said, or cross country, we've spent money thinking we were going to have that budget to go from. And so it's looking at creative, I live with and know finance, people, auditors. They don't like the term creative accounting, but a bit of creative accounting might be part of it. And I think we've done a really great job of providing a full day of activity. It might mean maybe 3/4 day or half day activity.
For sure.
And still all the bells and whistles and all the things that make the day a success will be considered, but we do have a finite amount of, we've always had a finite amount of money and now
there's less.
And now that's less.
Yeah. So. And I only ask because it's such a great event and, it's nice to have something in the first half of the year and then obviously something in the second half. So, recognize that you guys are, you're always creative and trying to find those ways, but it's just such a good event. So, well, if there's ever anything, obviously, if SEAC can assist in any way, please let us know, right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I don't have any other questions. Good. Okay. Thank you very much for the report. Okay, we are moving on to item 9.3, and we have a new member that is going to be joining SEAC. Where Marco Lopez is here in the audience this evening, and Marco had expressed interest to join our committee as a member at large. So we're really excited about that. I'll do a motion. I'll ask for a mover and a seconder in a moment to do a motion to move this nomination forward to the Board of Trustees for consideration. But with your permission, I wanted to just read a little bit from your letter. Is that okay, Marco? I just think it's important because you're not being nominated by a committee and by an organization. So I think it's important for maybe someone who around the table to know a little bit more in case they haven't had a chance to. So this is a letter. So it was addressed to Cassandra. It just said, "Dear Cassandra, I'm ready to express my interest in joining the Special Education Advisory Committee with the Halton Catholic District School Board as a community member at large. As a parent of a child with special needs and an advocate with a background in philanthropy and partnerships, I'm committed to supporting the development and delivery of special education programs that address the diverse needs of exceptional students. My personal experience as a parent have fueled my passion for advocating for the rights and well-being of children with special needs. My career has given me valuable experience working with various stakeholders and supporting programs that benefit children with complex medical needs. I'm confident that my skills in strategic communication, project management, and data analysis will enable me to contribute effectively to SEAC's mission. I'm particularly interested in participating in the annual review of the special education plan and budget process, as well as contributing to initiatives that enhance communication and engagement with parents and the community. I believe that my skills and experience align well with SEAC's roles and responsibilities, and I'm eager to support HCDSB's efforts to ensure equitable access to education for all students. So thank you again for putting that forward. Again, just a reminder for the process, I'll put a nomination forward. Once we have a mover and a seconder, and pending everyone's support, we'll move that forward to the Board of Trustees, and then they'll be good to go. So I'm wondering if I can get someone to move that we nominate Marco Lopez to join SEAC as a member at large. I've got Brianna that's moving that.
Second it.
Oh, okay. All right. Be Rick and or Trish.
Yeah, with the voice from above.
Is everybody in favor? No one opposed? Wonderful. Okay, great. So that we'll take care of that, and then we'll be in touch with all of the next steps. So thank you so much. Okay. Okay. So moving on to item number 10, which is SEAC discussion item/questions. I didn't have anything sent in. So this is an opportunity for us to, bring something forward if there's something we wanted to bring forward. I did make a note, which is perfectly placed after the conversation about budget. Just maybe for us to start thinking about program speakers, if that, because I really would love for us to put something out again from SEAC. I think it's important. It's an important part of engagement. We always have such great ideas around here and things that we're really looking to, bring forward to the parent community or to the community at large. CPIC does a really great job with bringing a number of speakers forward. And I think we could do the same thing as we have in the past. So I'm just encouraging people to start thinking about, hopefully if we get some funding from ProGrant, but sometimes we can get a speaker where there's no cost involved. You sometimes have people that are just happy to do that. So you can just start thinking of, I don't have a theme, I don't have anything that's sort of swirling around, but if you could maybe start thinking about theme or a possible speaker, and send off those ideas. I'm even happy to do some of the heavy lifting as far as reaching out to inquire about availability and things like that. But I would really love for SEAC to do an engagement event again. So I don't know if people are in favor of that, but I think it would be great to do. Okay.
Right.
Go ahead. No, sorry.
The deadline to submit for the funding for the program was Friday. So does that not?
So sometimes what I do is I go forward and say, could we get some funding?
No, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, so sometimes there's some that's allocated. We've worked in the past with people within the board to sort of say, could we have some of that funding? So I haven't asked for it in any formalized capacity because I wasn't sure what we wanted to do. But if we have an idea and we can get a sense of what that cost might be, then I'd be happy to go forward because I'm just always super supportive of that as well. And we can just hold the coffer out, see if anybody wants to put money in our pot.
Creative. Some additional creative.
I was emailed searching all last week for ideas.
Yeah.
So would we just email then you the ideas?
Yeah, or you can send it to you can send it to the whole committee if you want, Brianna. Like if you want to just copy all of SEAC, if people don't mind getting those emails, we don't have too many that go out. Send it to everybody and they can take a boo at it.
Okay.
Maybe it's someone they've heard of or not. Yeah, please.
Okay. The presentation that you're thinking about is something to be done here, or is something separate? Like how long would be that speaker?
It's a great question. So it's usually an online, we do it virtually. We could do it in person. I shouldn't say online only. It could be in person. I have that online piece. We could do it in person. It wouldn't be at a SEAC meeting. It would be
separate session.
Yeah, separate session. Yeah, separate session where we could either bring in people in person to listen to the presenter, or we could do it virtually. And so it's no cost for anyone to participate in that. And then we can record the session to make it available later, but it's a separate piece from our regular SEAC meetings. That's not to say that we wouldn't welcome, if you have an idea for a speaker to come in here, that might benefit. Always open for that too, for agenda purposes, but this would be a separate event for our larger community. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, great. So I'm glad to just sort of have that ruminate around as you're going through your day. Meeting summary and next step. So our next meeting is December the 15th. Margaret's got a couple of notes of things that we're going to be sending out just as a follow-up for today's meeting. And that's it. So resolution for absentees. Margaret, remind me again. Amanda, Abiola, and Rhonda. Perfect. If I could just get someone to have a motion regarding our absentees. Mariana, thank you. Moved. Marianne, and seconded. Tracy, thank you. Perfect. So that moves us to item number 14, which is our adjournment and closing prayer. So if I could just get a motion to adjourn. Brianna, just a second. Perfect.
Everybody got on the agenda now.
Yeah. Right. So if you will join me in the sign of our faith for our closing prayer, in the name of the Father and Son and the Holy Spirit. Blessed are you, O God of creation. Each day you spread before us the rich and wonderful diversity of the human family, created in the divine splendor of your love. Fashioned in your image, you call us to love one another with the same tender care with which you brought us to creation. Each one of us is but one small part of the glory that is you. As we serve the students and families of the Halton Catholic District School Board on the Special Education Advisory Committee, fill us with your grace, guide us with your wisdom, and give us the strength and courage to do your work, so that it may always be said of our every act, God sovereign is good. Thank you, everyone, for a great meeting, and we will see you next month.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.